Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much. I was just a minute. I'm just trying to see. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay,
It's loud
wonderful,
and clear.
wonderful. Wonderful. Hello, hello, namaste.
Hi, hello. We have 10 people so far. Hi, everybody.
They will join. They will join. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, Soumya? So we just spoke over the phone, So it's nice to see you like this, even if it is online. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? It's good to see you.
I am super excited. So do I
Yes,
look super excited? I don't know. I'm sitting with my cup of tea. I'm ready for this event and all set. Yes.
you look super excited.
Yes, I
You're
am.
full of energy today.
Yeah, I know. Did you see the video that I recorded in the afternoon? I mean, I was so
I
happy.
did.
I was like, I'm doing this. Because there's this interesting story I have. So once we actually start, then I'm going to share some stories that I have about, with regards to Toastmasters and other things. So yeah,
Yes,
just wait.
definitely. I would love to hear that. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
sure. Sure. Okay, wonderful. You're based in Bangalore, is it?
No, I am in Andhra Pradesh, actually, Nellore. But my office location is in Bangalore. So
So you
working from
work
home?
from home?
Yes.
I also work from home, but writers always work from home.
Being
So,
a software engineer, I'm working from home. I've never seen office, let me tell you. I passed
ah,
out and we had a pandemic. I have never seen the office.
seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. So that is one experience you really need to have.
Yes, I need to. So let's hope everything is okay now and they'll open up the offices and I can go.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, whenever you start, we have 10 people here watching us. You can start off. They will join whenever.
We can start.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
lovely. Hello, everybody. I am Lakshmi Saumya. I am from Capgemini Toastmasters Club of District 92, Area E3. Today we have with us here Vani Kaushal. Vani Kaushal is an international author, journalist, and a popular columnist. She took a plunge into the world of fiction writing after working as a business journalist in the leading newspapers, The Times of India and the Financial Express. She explores the other side of her latest romantic thriller, Seconds Later. The novel has been steadily climbing up the charts since its worldwide release, with rave reviews in popular media. Vani has already been profiled by international media houses like Transcontinental Times. Apart from the Tribune, Sunday Guardian, Dainik Bhaskar, Indian Express, Yugmark, and Doordarshan. Vani and her new book were recently profiled by Cyrus Brocha on his popular show Cyrus Says. Her book is available on Flipkart and Amazon with amazing reviews. I have read those reviews and I am going to buy the book soon. So please do check out her book. So welcome Vani. Hi, how
Thank
are
you.
you?
I am good, Soumya. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And something I would like to also hear something about Toastmasters.
Yes. Toastmasters is a non-profit organization. It was started by Ralph C. Smedley in the year 1924, I believe. It was basically started as a series. Ralph C. Smedley started this because he found that people were finding it difficult to raise toasts at weddings or events. So it was an initiative for public speaking, and now it is such an amazing organization. Let me tell you, it helps you in your confidence boost. Talking to people anywhere you want, and it helps you with your leadership skills. It has been around 7 months since I've joined Toastmasters, and I had an absolutely loving experience so far. I knew how to speak, but I wasn't confident enough to speak in front of a crowd. But now, if you push me in front of people, I will. This is how Toastmasters has helped me, and I am improving every day. We have a very Toastmasters has a very positive environment where everybody is learning. So it's a learning together. Everybody is supporting each other. So it's a very, a positive community which helps you in public speaking skills. So yes, this is all about Toastmasters from my side.
Wow, wonderful. Wonderful to hear about your personal journey as well, Soumya. This is lovely. So, I'll tell you something about myself. As a kid, I was always fascinated, like all kids, I always wanted to be the center of attention whenever there was an opportunity. But so whenever we had those debates and declamation contests happening at our school, I was always one of those people who would always give their names, and always I used to forget my speech. So 11 times I went to on the stage and I completely forgot my speech. So for me, it's like, I can't even believe I'm here and I'm talking to on this big platform which is supporting speakers and leaders, and which is all about enhancing your speaking skills and all, and it's just amazing. And I'll tell you, a couple of years ago I happened to visit Infosys campus in Bangalore, so that was to promote my first book. And after the promotion and all, the event was done at the Infosys main headquarters. After the event was done, I was walking through the corridor and I saw this Toastmasters event happening, like very maybe in one of the rooms, one of the huge halls that they had. And one of the guys, he said, Vani, what? I'll get you a slot over there. And I was excited. I said, wow, maybe I will get an opportunity to talk about my book. But somehow the events that Toastmasters has, they're all very well packed. So I never got an opportunity, and it just stayed with me. Like, there are some things that stay with you. Oh my God, I didn't get an opportunity that time. And, I also believe that when things have to come, they come. So it's all in divine
Yes.
timing. And I'm so excited that my book has just come out. And it's just amazing to be able to speak to you all about the book and about the whole writing process, and hopefully help a few people who are also struggling with their manuscript. So in the process, yeah. So that's what. Thank
That
you
was
for
lovely.
hosting me tomorrow and today.
That was lovely to hear your Toastmasters experience. Yes, we have a very well organized and packed meeting with all the interesting sections coming. So, yes, you need to book a slot beforehand. But yeah, it's great that you are in contact with Toastmasters now after so long. So,
And
and
of
about
course,
your
I
book,
have to thank the amazing team at District 92. I have to thank Siddharth for one, who started this whole thing, because I think he happened to hear me, addressing one of the sessions. So Siddharth Shah and Yashika, who's been, doing so much behind the scenes, and there is Survi, who's designed the posters, and all of you guys are just so amazing and so supportive. I wanted to thank you all.
thank you so much. We are so excited to have you here today and tomorrow. For
And
those
tomorrow.
of you who have joined just now, let me tell you this is a pre event for tomorrow's amazing event called Book Your Thoughts. It is by Area E3 and H3 of District 92. It is a lovely event wherein our author Vani is going to talk about all your trouble and all your process from writing a book to its publishing. So let me ask you, Vani, what will you speak about in tomorrow's event? How is it going to be?
So I want to first ask you a question. Have you ever thought about writing books, or have you ever been drawn to writing books? Do you think people are really interested in writing books these days?
I think everybody does have a story to write, but we just shy away thinking that who might read our books. So everybody deep down have something to write about. But if you ask me personally, I never thought about it. But now when I see you, maybe I'll start writing something.
Yeah, so basically, I think we all have our story. Sometimes, we write from our experiences, what we've seen in life and how we perceive life, and our experiences and things like that. And sometimes, it all comes from our imagination. So the only problem is getting things down to paper. That's where we get stuck, because we have these fears, like who's going to read our book, or is this idea good enough, or is it going to make money, and all those sort of things. So I will be addressing those tomorrow when we have the session, as to how to first of all get started, and how to get over those fears that and insecurities that you might have. Now, in as many minutes as I have, like it's a 45-minute session, and I'm going to just pack a lot of things in there. So of course I will be touching a few things here and here and there, but it would probably give a push to some people to get things started. Like if you have a nice idea in your head, might as well not just keep it in your head, but put it down on paper. And interestingly, there's a lot of interest in writing books, because I don't know how the writing ecosystem was earlier. Maybe it was not very conducive for everybody, and you had to be like, you had to do creative writing programs, and you had to really work very hard to get your manuscript out. Today I think we have that sort of an ecosystem where people like lawyers and doctors and everybody, literally everybody who has a story, they are writing their stories. So you are an IT professional, and I'm sure you've had your own experiences in life, and some of those might be so compelling that you might be pushed to writing them before they are all lost. And so I think for all I hope for is that for this session to give you enough push, or people like you enough push to write those ideas, and of course guide them a bit about once that manuscript is done and over with, what to do with it. Like many people get stuck around the publishing process, like, okay, we have a ready manuscript, how do we get it edited and polished, and what is the submission process, how does it work like. So just giving them a bit of tips here and there. So basically I think mostly this whole session that we are going to have tomorrow is going to have 3 parts. The first one would be how to put your ideas down on paper. The second one would be about the whole publishing process. And the third one, which is very important, which is why I'm talking to you, is the post-publishing. So today, writers are not just writing the books, they are also marketing the books. And it's a whole sort of process that you need to understand. And so many people are just like, why I've written the book. Now the reader has to go find the book, and just they don't believe in marketing. But today there's so much competition that you do need to get your message out to people. So it'll be a bit, I'll be touching around, I'll be talking about those topics and anything else, well, that you might be interested in. Maybe so many people have joined us today. Maybe people can just message and let me know, and it'll help me structure the session in a better way. So anything, but mostly that.
Yes,
And I talk a lot.
that was that was lovely to hear. I mean, the whole session is very well organized. I am excited to be there. I will be there. And yes, it will help all the budding writers we have also in our Toastmasters. Toastmasters, we always go out and speak, but we have never thought about writing our thoughts down. So maybe after this session, some of us who want to write, maybe we'll get a clear picture of how to do that.
Yes. And that's what I'm hoping for as well.
Yes, lovely. Now, for who do you think would the session the most benefit? Who should be the target audience?
I'm
The budding writers.
uh, So I'll go back to the last 2 months, the discussions that I was having with your team members, Siddharth and Ashika, basically. So we were trying to decide like how to host the session and how many people to invite. And finally, I think they have done the best thing possible. The session is open for all. So anybody who wants that sort of motivation, a push, to write your ideas down can attend it. Or if you want to just listen to somebody just blabber on and you don't mind listening to a person like me who can just go on and on, it's fine by me. And the Zoom link and all are there in the description. I posted a video. You've been doing a lot of publicity for this event as well. I think at the end of the day, all I want to be able to do through this session is to be able to give enough push to people who've been thinking about writing a story or a book or a poem, whatever medium you want to experiment with, basically. Yeah, that.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm so excited for tomorrow's event. Talking about writing books, how easy or difficult it is to write a book? Because everybody has their thoughts, but how difficult is it to actually write it down? I mean, the entire book.
Okay, what is your perception? Like, what do you think? I would like to hear. We have so many people attending the session. Please do feel free to write whatever responses you have. I think I don't know. What do you think? Is it easy or is it difficult?
Well, if you have so many thoughts, then yes, you can write. But if you have a very small idea, how do you make it into a complete book? So I have never thought about it.
So
How do
the
you
thing
make
is,
a
the
book?
thing is that you can write a good book and you can write a really bad book. Writing is difficult, but it is just as difficult as you or easy as you make of it. It's your attitude that sort of matters. So the thing is that it's not anything like you're not doing physical activity for hours. I sit in my room for like 6 to 7 hours sometimes just doing my work, and at the end of the day I do not even have a paragraph to show to anyone. So many times there was this particular a month and a half, I think, where I was struggling with just one paragraph for 40 days. I was struggling with it. This book, Seconds Later, which has come out, has taken me, I started it in 2017 and it's come out now. And I've worked every single day of the last few years. I don't really give myself a break, not too much, because I'm very passionate about it. So you have nothing to show, and you have those endless hours you're still working, and it is tough to keep yourself going, because what do you show to others? Like, until this book had come out, people were just like not aware what I was doing all day in my room, practically. And it is difficult, but it is easy as well, because everything is in your mind ultimately. If you can get past those few days of inactivity and sluggishness, and you don't there's sometimes you also struggle with writing a lot. So if you can get past that, then things become a bit easier for you. But yeah, it's everything is in your mind. Difficult, I would say. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm writing a book, by the way, which is like so this one, the one that I'm writing now, is for my tribe. So this one is for women. And believe me, I started it when the pandemic started, 2020, and we're in 2022, right? So, and it's taking all of me. I've lost 12, 13 kilos in the last few months because of it's like so much. It's taking me literally. It's like so. That's what it is in a nutshell. It is tough. It is tough. But if you're passionate about it, you do get something good out of it. Yeah.
That is very fascinating. I mean, you spend almost 4 years on a single book. You need a lot of dedication to do that, a lot of motivation. You are a
People
true
have spent
inspiration.
more time. People have spent years. People have spent, and sometimes, I look back on those people who've come before us. They didn't have internet and they didn't work on computers. They were writing longhand. I have no idea how those people managed to write such big tomes, because my book is like 60,000 words, but there are people who've written like literally 800 pages, 1,000 pages, and all, and I have no idea how they did it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Yes.
That is very much interesting. Writing a book for 4 years. Well, the budding writers will get a lot of insight from you on how to do that tomorrow.
But
Well, for
then
those
you
of
can
you
write
who
a
have
book in
joined
two
us,
months as well. I mean, people do that. So it's like you don't have anything. You. It's not like a set thing. You can write a book in 6 days, and you can write it in 6 years. So it entirely depends on you and the topic you're writing about.
yes, yes, the time you spend, the quality, and
Yeah.
it's all about individual, I would say,
Yes. Yes.
how your brain works.
Yes. Absolutely.
For those of you who have joined now, let me tell you this is a pre event for tomorrow's event, which is Book Your Thoughts. It's going to be it's organized by Area E3 and H3 from Toastmasters International, District 92. And we have Vani who will be helping us in the event. It is called Book Your Thoughts. It's all about writing a book. Her new book is released, which is called Seconds Later. It is available on Amazon and Flipkart and with amazing reviews. So do check that out.
Thank you.
So uh, I want now let's open up the session for a small Q&A. So whoever is present here, if you want to ask something to Vani, please go ahead.
Is
What
it
is your
just the
question?
District 92 team that has joined us? Or this was like, this was, I think people must be able to see, but none of my friends, I can't see any of my friends, I don't know. Or maybe they were confused, they didn't know what this session was all about.
All about, yeah, maybe.
What do you think about writers? Do you think writers are crazy people?
Well, that would depend on the individual, I guess. But you don't look crazy to me at all.
There are levels of craziness. So the thing is that people who are close to me, they'll call me crazy. I have my own quirks and my own I have things that my family deals with every day. I can drink several cups of tea a day. I love tea. I'm a meditation junkie because sometimes I can't calm. I seem to struggle with calming down my thoughts. So I am a meditation junkie. And there are many things, so, but then writers have also changed. Earlier, you probably people used to think that writers wear those coats, those khadi coats, and they are like very serious looking, and they talk like बहुत serious बातें करते हैं. But today you would find people who are so easygoing and who are just like the boys or the girls next door, and they're writing books about all sorts of things, and you're like, अगर ये कर सकते हैं तो मैं भी कर सकती हूँ. That's all. So anyhow. But I'm happy to take any questions if anybody has.
So, does anybody have any question? You can put it in the chat box. We have the comment section open for questions now.
And I want to remind everybody, whoever is joining us or whoever is going to watch this session in the future time, that we have the links for the Zoom meeting tomorrow posted in the description, and also it's all available. And I would love to for everybody to join in.
Vani, we have a question from Shamini.
Yeah.
Shamini asks, how do you handle creative block while writing? How many drafts is too many drafts for a writer?
Sorry, your voice.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'll repeat myself. We have a question from Shamini. She is asking, how do you handle creative block while writing? How many drafts is too many drafts?
How many drafts and too many drafts? Thank you, Shamini. I see, as far as writer's block or creative block is concerned, I think that sort of happens when you look at your work with a surgeon's eye. I think you have to somewhere stop doing that, because when we sort of analyze ourselves a lot and we start thinking, okay, is this going to resonate with the reader or not? When we start criticizing ourselves, I think those are all things that, we could sabotage our work, our creative project, by being too critical of it or by overthinking it. I think if you could just not look at it with the surgeon's eye, I think it helps you with the the writer's block or the creative block. And so what I do is, personally, I do face that many times when I don't get ideas for days. I just write, I just keep writing. So sometimes I may write for a month and nothing. I know that I'm writing complete trash, and then I delete it all and I start writing again. And I have done that so many times, but eventually something happens and something starts flowing. So this popular saying, this somebody who's said that you can only edit a page you've written, you cannot edit a blank page. So if it's completely blank and you're just blogged, it's not going to work. So you have to write something. That's number one. And number second, the second question that she's asked is, many drafts or one draft? I think it's all about when you feel completely satisfied with what you've written. Generally, when you are starting out, when you are a newbie, you're very satisfied and happy looking at your first draft. But let me tell you, first draft of anything is mostly trash. Seriously. So you have to, a good way to work around that is that when you have your first draft ready, you keep it for 6 months, don't look at it, take it out after 6 months and then read it, and you'll be able to see what trash you wrote. If that is, if you want to be a professional writer. But if you just want to write for your friends and all, or for a blog, of course, you can't do that. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, I write multiple drafts, multiple revisions. There are hundreds of times when I go through that same page, read about that same character, revise my dialogues. But that's because I'm a professional writer. If you're writing a blog or you're writing an article, I don't think you have the time and the energy to do that. So yeah, it's all about your satisfaction. If you think you're satisfied just looking at it, then it's okay, it's perfectly fine. Or if you're not, then of course you need to read and revise again and again. That's what.
Yes, that absolutely makes sense. I think Shamini got her question answered. We have
Yes.
one more question from Nandan, who says, how was the experience of your first book like?
My first book came out in 2015, and I remember, I have had my own share of rejections with my first book, and mostly with with the book that you were talking about, with second, as regards Second Slater. So if you don't mind, I can tell you more about Second Slater, because it's just come out in December. So when I was writing this book, the first draft was written and I thought this was done. I sent it across to a few publishers and I got many rejections. And then I signed up with a literary agency. And then I work with the Book Bakers. That's my literary agency. And I'm represented by Suhail Mathur. And while the book was with him, I started revising the book. So many key points and plot points and all, and a lot of characters were added at a later stage in the book, which enhanced the book. So it's like, when, until the book is out there and in the market, it goes through its own journey, which is very frustrating. but at the same time you have to go through it, because after all it's your baby, and you have to keep pushing. You can't stop. You have to keep pushing, and sometimes you have to force yourself. No, you have to get up and do it. So it is frustrating and exciting all at the same time. And this book, whatever time it may have taken to write the book, but it's not just the writing. Your book never comes out when it's not, there's a bit of a time lag after it gets accepted and when it gets published. So the book was in, because of the COVID pandemic, it was actually supposed to come out last year, but it came out this year. So there was a lag of about 1.5 years. so, so for most people to imagine like the time it takes for a book to get published, it's just crazy. And for the last 4 months, I've had like a gig every week. I have a gig every week. I have a speaking engagement every week, and I've been promoting, including the show that I had with Cyrus Brocha, including the show, the thing that I had with Doordarshan, and including all the rest of the stuff. It's all there on my Instagram and my Facebook timeline. So promotion is a whole different game altogether, and you can't stop because you have to keep working on your next book. My next book is already with my literary agent. He's hoping for me to, I'm actually waiting for him to reply back on that. So you have to continuously work on one project and then the other and then the other. So it's sometimes it's like too much, but you learn to manage your time well. So even though I'm working for myself, but it's a lot of work nonetheless. I don't have anybody to report to. There's not a boss that I really need to call up in the morning or anything. But yeah, I have my own. I have to manage my time well and all my gigs myself and all. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, I hope it did. I mean, it's a whole roller coaster ride from writing to publishing and after the publishing.
And after the publishing. So that's why the event tomorrow makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. We have one more question about your upcoming book, next book. What next after Seconds Later? It is a question asked by Shweta Rohira.
Shweta, thank you, Shweta. And I had an amazing show with her. She is such a lovely person, and she had such amazing things to say about my book. And she's one of those people who's really, she's read some 25, 30 books already in these past few months. And she is like one of those people who really supports the reading community. So thank you, Shweta, for asking me that. My next book, which I'm very excited about, is for my tribe. And I'm writing this one for women, but my main focus is to write about things that we seldom talk about because we are shy, or we are told not to talk about those things. And my only focus, and why this book is taking a lot of time, is that I want to write from, not from a victim point of view, because when you look at the books that are there for women and written by women, most of them talk about patriarchal thingies, all the patriarchal values, and this is how you grew up and you were stopped from doing things and this and that, and they come from, like, mostly there's a lot of victim point of view that's there as underneath all those stories and all. So for me, I'm writing a book that probably I would love to read, and which is entertaining, which is light-hearted and funny, and also a bit of self-help. So it is going to be non-fiction, but it's going to touch on topics which women seldom talk about. So I'm really excited about it, but it's taking every flesh, every pound of me. So it's like, it's very taxing, and I work on it every day, and I don't know when I'll be able to complete it, but hopefully soon. Hopefully.
Hopefully, all the very best for your
Thank you.
next book. I am
Thank you.
excited to read that too.
Yeah, thank you.
We have one more question from Shamini.
Yeah,
It
sure.
is, Who is the latest reviewer of a book? Is it you or the publishing agent or book bakers?
Who is the latest
Reviewer of a book.
reviewer of a book? As in like
She says, is it you? Is it you or the publishing agent or book bakers?
I'm not sure if she could just rephrase the question, but let me answer the way I understand it. So the thing is that first person who reads the book is of course you, and most likely you're
The
always the
last
first.
reviewer. Yeah,
Sorry, what is she? What is she? I think she's asking that, like, who
yeah,
sort
the
of
last
rejects
reviewer of the book. Yeah, the
last
last
review.
reviewer of the book. Yes,
Last reviewer. So whose say is it? So
yes,
you have to understand that the first person who reads the book is of course you. Sometimes you can have beta readers for your book. So I have a friend. So whenever my book is ready or a chapter is ready, I always send it to her because she's my best friend. She is an amazing reader as well. So she's an avid reader and she loves to read. So she gives me an opinion whether the thing is resonating with her or not. But then I send it out. Once I'm absolutely satisfied, I actually send it out to my to the book bakers, to my literary agent Suhail, and he sort of lets me know what's because he has a pulse on the publishing industry. He knows what sort of books are in demand and what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, whatever. So he's the best person who can guide me. So for me, his opinion really matters. And then once he approves the project, then it goes to the publishing house. Of course, he manages all the submission process and everything, and then it goes to the publishing house, and then it is the editor at the publishing house who sort of looks at it and suggests a few changes here and there. So I would say there is a lot of, so book may be your child, but as a child, Soumya, you've gone to school, and whatever you are today is because of the teachers and the environment you grew up in and your parents. So similarly, it's the case with a book as well. I may have written it, but then somewhere along the process, there are other inputs that come to me, and then they sort of, if they make sense, I sort of make them a part of the story as well. And the last person to see the book is of course the commissioning editor, whoever has commissioned it at the publishing house, and after her approval, the thing is ready to go. And yeah, that's how things work. but but
okay.
even as I say that, one person who doesn't like your book, like for instance, Soumya is reading the book and she comes up and she tells me, something did not resonate with her. It just kills me. It just kills, because because it's our baby, and it takes a lot of effort to write it. So imagine spending 4 5 years, somebody comes and tells you it's not good enough. It breaks your heart. So you have to, so yeah, I'm practicing detachment now. Whatever it is, apna karm karo aur nikal jao wahan se. Don't attach yourself to it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. That makes sense too. I think that answered Shamini's question. So, for those of you who have joined now, this is a pre-event for tomorrow's big event, which is Book Your Thoughts by District 92, Area E3 and H3, wherein we have our author Vani, who will be talking about everything from writing a book to the post-publishing. So do join us tomorrow at the event.
Yeah.
She has a new book coming up, which is called Seconds Later. It's available on Amazon and Flipkart with amazing reviews. So do check that out too.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any more questions to ask? Let us now keep all the questions for tomorrow, because if you answer all of these questions here, what will people ask tomorrow?
Yeah,
We'll leave the
absolutely.
good part for tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. That makes sense. I think this has been, as it is, we have tried to not give away too much in a 45-minute
Yes.
session. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So let us all see you tomorrow at the event.
Yeah.
Excited for it?
I'm excited
Thank you,
as
Vani,
well.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Soumya, and
Thank
thank
you
you,
so much
District
for joining
92.
in.
Thank you to the entire team, Siddharth, Yashika, Soumya, and Survi, and everybody who who's put this whole thing together. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you everybody for joining in. It was great to have you all here. Let us all meet tomorrow with all the energy and excitement and let us understand what it is about writing a book.
Sure. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye everybody.
Bye bye.